Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back today. Today I'm very excited to introduce this new tool that I've been wanting to try out for a long time. As part of this van build, like I said, any tool that I use, I'm going to do like a quick review on. And this is something that caught my eye a long time ago. I've been looking for an excuse to buy one. Every time I strip a car down, I typically use like a little DA sander, and it takes me weeks and weeks and weeks to do. This tool claims that it can do this in a relatively short amount of time. I went ahead and purchased the extra grits as well, the extra pads. And just kind of wanted to go over the tool itself. This is Eastwood's Surface Contour, SCT, which is Surface Contouring Tool. It feels very sturdy, it feels very rugged. It also comes with an extra set of brushes in the tool as well for that extra life. One thing that sets this tool apart from its competitors, it seems like, is the fact that it's gear driven and the actual motor is in line with the rotating assembly. As far as the pads go, these are extra pads. You can purchase them as you go. Part of what I want to figure out with this tool is how long each pad can last, and doing a van is going to be a really nice way to do that since it's mainly flat. I've also got the cargo floor, which is kind of a unique terrain as well. So I'm really going to try this tool out in a lot of different applications. So there's two main types of pads. It seems like you get a stripping pad, which I think this came extra with the kit. This was a little over $300 for all of this. But you get a stripping pad, which kind of looks like a paddle wheel, and it just has what feels like Scotch-Brite-like material on it. And then you've got the finishing pads as well, which is kind of just like an all Scotch-Brite pad versus the paddle wheel design. So I've got 80 grit, I've got 120 grit for more of a pre-primer kind of finish, and then I've also got a 40 grit, which seems extremely abrasive. Probably wouldn't want to use this on anything on the exterior of the van, but anything like the frame or maybe the cargo floor, we'll see how this treats me. Something that you probably wouldn't want to see at the end, or that you don't want to spend a lot of time buffing the scratches out. So next we're going to compare this against a DA sander and see kind of how long it takes each tool to do the same amount of area, and then compare the results at the end. So looking forward to it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. So I just showed you guys sanding this with a DA sander. I had 120 grit, brand new pad on a standard household Black & Decker, either 4 or 6 inch DA sander, whatever it is. Just to give you guys an idea, I know most of the time we try to use like air tools, but I'm in a small apartment and don't have access to a large air compressor. So I'm going to compare that against what it takes with the pad that comes with the conditioning tool. And I only did about half of this half of panel, just so I can do half this side with the stock spool that comes on the conditioning tool, and then I'm going to use a stripping pad on the bottom half to just kind of compare the two amongst itself. So stay tuned. And as far as safety goes, obviously with the DA sander, I'm not really worried about stuff going up. If I were going to do the whole thing today, I'd obviously be wearing a mask as well. But with rotating equipment, don't wear you typically try not to wear gloves, but I'm going to wear it with my backhand because I'm worried about the spinning disc throwing stuff into my backhand, and obviously eye protection as well. So next we'll get started and see how it does. It is variable speed, which I think is a useful thing to mention as well. So it doesn't have to go all at once. It also has a slow startup, which is kind of nice as well. So next we're going to give this a try and see how it does. It's taken it down to the bare metal, like it claims. I am having issues kind of fighting the rust here. I think this pad's meant for more of kind of already bare steel, not necessarily stripping back paint as the description says on it. Right? It's a finishing pad. It's not a stripping pad. So I'm interested to go ahead and just put this pad on and see how it does in comparison. I'm hoping for much better results, but we'll see. So whenever I feel over this, it feels extremely hot. Not surprising given the RPM of this tool, but it is just something to keep in mind. Like, keep the tool moving, don't hold it in one spot. I think through here I kind of tried a different approach where I slowed down and try and let it work a little bit more in one area at a time. But to be honest with you guys, it's not what I had hoped. I kind of thought it would be a little bit superior to the DA sander. Maybe I just had different thoughts on the tool. I may try and go up in grit on the actual the wheel on it and see if that improves. But like, I'm still getting this rust kind of stuck on here. It's not really taking that up. Honestly, the DA sander looks like it did kind of a better job with that. But we'll keep using it and see how it plays out. So I think next I'm going to switch to the 80 grit and see how that does for me. As you can see, we've still got some surface rust on the actual panel. It didn't take it through as quickly or efficiently as I had hoped, and we're definitely getting warm through here where we were really working at it. So I'm going to put the 80 grit on there, see how that does, and then again we can compare it to the DA sander. So I gotta say, I even tried on some bonded areas back there, and I think the DA sander does just as well, to be honest with you, even with the 120 grit versus the 80 grit wheel I just put on. I mean, I didn't do a whole lot, but I wouldn't think there'd be much of a difference between using a DA sander versus the conditioning tool. I'm gonna keep trying it out. Maybe I'll figure something out as I go. But yeah, that's just kind of my 2 cents on it. I was really expecting a lot more. Maybe I just have my expectations too high. But I'll do a little bit more research on the tool, make sure I'm using it correctly. I mean, it seems kind of pretty intuitive, but that's just it's my review. So thank you. All right, guys. So I did the floor of the cargo van, which is similar to a truck bed, and I got to say I'm pretty impressed with it. I bumped up the wheel in it to I think it was a 40 or 60 grit, something you probably wouldn't use on the outside, but obviously here I wanted to be a little aggressive with what I'm doing. Obviously getting in the ridges for any type of manual remover is pretty difficult unless you're using like a wire wheel or something, but all in all I'm pretty happy with it. It made quick work of this. It would have taken me a long time with the DA sander just to get this kind of result, and a lot more pads. So so you guys can see the surface area. I worked the edges of this wheel pretty good just to get in those crevices, and you can see there's a decent amount remaining, probably enough to finish this fan, just so you guys have an idea of how far one disc can take you. But that's all I got. I'm starting to warm up to it. I think it has its purposes. I'll show you the side that I finished up yesterday as well. So you can see along here, this is all what I did. This took it down to bare metal, but I think the best advice I can give to somebody would be use the 80 grit stripping wheel, and then whenever you get ready to do your body work, go over it with an 80 grit finishing wheel, and that should take you down to the metal. The stripping wheel is really good for just getting rid of the paint, but the finishing wheel is nice for getting this nice even metal pattern that you see on this panel. So all in all, not a bad product. For $300, I think longevity of the tool is going to decide whether it was worth the $300 compared to just using a DA sander. But that's all I got for you guys. I hope you guys got a little bit more information out of this. If there's anything I can do to add to this review, please let me know in the comments. Thanks, guys.